Hello everyone, my name is Ken Hales Clark, and today we're going to be going through Code.org Unit 7, Lesson 8, Make a Library. So I am looking at the project guide, and just looking at the requirements, it says that our library needs to have 2 or more functions, and at least one function must include a loop, an if statement, 1 or more parameters, and a return value. I'm going to make about 9 or 10 functions, somewhere in that ballpark. We have a couple of things here in the guide where you can use strings, lists, a data set, or something else. I'm going to choose a data set only because in real life scenarios, you're going to be working with data sets. So I'm going to go to data, and the data set that I'm going to choose is the root 100 influential African Americans. So if I click on this data set, I'll see the rank. We have names, we have profession, we have the sector, we have their age, their influence number, their reach, and their Twitter followers, a picture as well. The very first thing I need to do is declare my variables. And I'm gonna have, let me do show blocks, and I'm gonna drag over this variable. This is gonna be var name, and in here in this section here, I'm gonna drag over a get column. I'm going to choose my table or my data set, and I'm going to use the name column. Alright, so we're going to do the same thing for rank, profession, followers, and sector. So we'll do rank, profession. Well, actually, let's copy and paste. So show text. I'm just going to copy and paste this. This will be profession, rank, profession, followers, and sector. Followers and sector will go here. I'll change this to followers, and I'll change this to sector. So we also have to change the column names over here. So I'll go to show blocks to do that. I'll change this to rank. This one will be profession. This one will be followers. And this one will be sector. Okay. So now I'm ready to create some functions that will go in my library. So the things that I want to think about is, if I were to use this library, what kind of things would I be interested in getting? Let's get the rank of a certain celebrity. So I'm going to say get the rank of a specified influencer or celebrity. And I'm going to do function get rank. And then as my parameter, I'm going to put celeb name. You could put influencer name, but I'm using celeb name just only because it's easier to type, it's less words. Okay, so if I want to create a function that gets the rank of a celebrity name, then I need to do some sort of filtering. So in unit 5, we went through filtering a function, mapping a function, reducing a function. In here, I'm going to do some level of filtering. So I'm going to start off with a for loop. Okay, for I equals 0, I less than, and I'm going to go through name.length, because names are going to be the names of my influencers or celebrity, and also I++. Then within that within that for loop, I'm going to have an if statement. So what I'm checking for is if the celeb name, which is a parameter, is the same as the element within the name list, then I want to return that rank. Okay, so remember, these are all lists that we have here. Okay, So I'm going to say if the celeb name, oops, uppercase, is equal to name or a specific name in the name list, then I want to return the rank of that person. I'm going to also put a description here. If the celeb name matches a name in the name dot list, in the name list, then return the celeb rank. Okay. So that's my first function. I'm going to do the same for get followers as well as get sector and get profession. But I'm going to do a couple of tests first. So as we go through and create our library, and I think it might be in here as well, we need to create a couple of test cases. So down here it says start by building the function, debug your code as you write, start testing your code early with sample inputs. And I think they're looking to see those test cases, so we're going to make sure that we have them here. So let me go back to code.org. We're going to create a couple test cases by using console.log. That way we get some information printed out to the debug console. So let's create a couple of them. If you go back to testing libraries, let's do part 6. They have about 3. So let's go ahead and do 3 per function. So basically you see how they have the library, they have the function for the library created here. It has parameters and they have the test cases. That's exactly what we're going to do with our library. So let me go back to our lesson here, our library. And I'm going to create a test case. I'm going to do get Stacey Abrams rank. And I know that her rank should be 1. And how do I know that? If I go to the data tab, click on my table name, this is Stacey Abrams and this is her rank. So that's the output that I'm expecting to get. So if someone puts in Steve Canals, I'm expecting 4. If someone puts in Jackie Ana, I'm expecting 19, and so on. So I'm expecting 1 here. And all I'm going to do now is call that function. So I'll do get rank and put in the celeb name, which is Stacey Abrams. Okay, so let's just test this out, make sure it works. All right, so I'm expecting 1 and I got back a 1 for Stacey Abrams. So let's do someone else. Let's do Beyonce. Why not? Make sure I copy this so I use it exactly. So I'm going to do get Beyonce rank. And I'm going to put Beyonce, but I think I need to have like that accent E just to make sure I put in exactly as it says. And her rank is 18. So I'm going to put my expected value to be 18 and the output should be 18. So let's reset, run. All right, so I'm expecting 18 and I got 18. So since we need 1 more, let's just add 1 more. Let's do Allison Phoenix. Her rank is 26. Allison Felix. And her rank is 26. And I'll do get rank Allison Felix. Reset, run. Perfect. So we know that this function works. we're going to do the same thing for get followers, get sector, and get profession. So what we need to do here is we're copying this function, pasting it down here, but instead of rank, we're going to get the profession. And we're going to return their profession. Instead of get rank, we're going to get profession. And down here, instead of returning the rank, we're going to return the profession. All right, let's reset this. And then I'm going to test out my code. So I'm just going to copy this, paste it down here. And instead of rank, I'm going to do profession, profession, profession. Now do get profession instead of get rank. Get profession, get profession. Now I need to check what their professions are. So Allison Felix is a track champion. Just copy that and put that here. This is my expected value. I don't think that copied. Let's try again. Okay. Beyonce's profession that they have here is an entertainer, comma entrepreneur. Let's copy this. And then Stacey Abrams, I think maybe politician. Yes. So we're going to copy this and put it here. So again, these are my expected outputs, right? So let's run this and see if it works. Cool. So we have Stacey Abrams, politician, entertainer, entrepreneur, same thing, track champion, track champion. So that works as expected. I'm just going to put some space here. So /n is for a new line. I want to separate my first set of tests from my second set of tests. So let's just reset and run. Yeah, just so that we can get a little bit of spacing there. Okay, so let's move on to the other portions. We're going to do get followers and get sector and follow the same procedure. All right, so instead of profession, we're going to do followers. Let's get the followers. Followers, followers, followers. And we're going to change this profession to followers. All right, and then we're going to check and see what the data looks like. So for Stacey Abrams, these are her followers. Go back to my code. This is what I expect. For Beyonce, let's go down to Beyonce. She has a ton of followers as expected. And then Allison Felix, let's go down, grab her number and put it here. Run. The numbers look exactly as we expect. Let's reset. And then again, I'm going to do that for get sectors. So instead of followers, I'm going to put sectors or sector. Let's see, do I have sector? Yeah, I have sector without the S. All right, so changing this to from followers to sector. I'm going to do the same thing here, here, and here. So Stacey Abrams' sector is politics. Politics. Beyonce's sector, I'm going to assume entertainment. Yep, entertainment. And then Allison Felix should be sports. Yep. And we'll just put that here. So let's run this, make sure it works. Yep, so we have Stacey Abrams politics, Beyonce entertainment, Allison Felix sports. So everything is working as we expect. And so far we have, see, 1, 2, 3, 4 different functions. So let's go ahead and do some, let's try some comparisons. Maybe you want to compare rank or compare followers. So now we're getting into, something a little bit more interesting. So I'm going to write some comments. Let's see, I'm going to do compares the rank of 2 celebs or influencers. And this is going to return the influencer with the highest number, or let's say return the influencer with more followers. Okay, so I'm going to have function compare rank. All right, and I'm going to put in the celeb name. And if I want to compare the rank, if you bear in mind I already have a get rank function up here, I'm just going to use it. So I'm going to say if, and this is actually going to take in 2 influencers because I'm comparing two different influencers. So I'll do celeb 1 and celeb 2. Okay, so if I get the rank of celeb 1 and if that rank is greater than the rank of celeb 2, then I want to return celeb 1. Otherwise, I'll return celeb 2. All right, so this is basically comparing 2 celebrities. If the rank of the first celeb is greater than the rank of the second celeb, that means the first celeb has the highest rank. So we're going to return the first celeb. If this is not true, right, then we're going to return the second celeb. So we're going to test this out, make sure it works. We're going to compare Stacey and Beyonce, then we're going to compare Beyonce and Allison, and then we're going to compare Allison and Stacey. So I'm going to copy this. Just put it down here. I'm going to change this to say, let's do compare rank of Stacey and Beyonce. And the person with the highest rank right now is Stacey. So I'm going to change this to compare rank. And we're comparing Stacey Abrams, Beyonce. I think I need to put it with the accent E. All right, so let me get rid of these down here. And I'm just going to test this first one out just to see what the result's going to be. Okay, so I have it flipped. So the person with the higher rank has the lower number. So if you're ranked first in the list, your number is lower than someone who's ranked, say, 100. So I need to change this around, where if the celebrity has a rank that's lower than another celeb, so it means if celeb A has a number that's less than celeb B, or celeb 1 has a number that's less than celeb 2, then that's the celeb with the highest rank. So I just needed to change this from a greater than sign to a less than sign. Let's run it again. So if we compare Stacy and Beyonce, then Stacy has the highest rank. So let's compare Beyonce and Allison Felix. And Beyonce should have the higher rank. All right, let's copy this, paste it. We're gonna compare Beyonce and Allison Felix. And Beyonce should have the higher rank. And let's change this to Allison Felix. Let's reset, run. I'm going to take out that /n right here, reset, run it again. Yep, so this looks perfectly fine. Beyonce has the highest rank, so I'm going to also compare Stacy and Allison, and Stacy should have the highest rank. So let's compare, let's copy this. We're going to compare Stacy and Allison. And instead of Beyonce, we're going to do Stacy and Allison. And I'm expecting Stacy to have the highest rank because she has a rank of 1. All right, let me take out this /n here. All right, so this looks perfectly fine. That's exactly what we expect to see. So now that we've compared rank, let's go ahead and compare followers. So I may want to see, hey, does Beyonce have more followers than Allison? So let's go ahead and do that. So I'm going to copy our compare rank function with its tests and paste it down below. And obviously, if instead of rank, we're going to do followers. Oh, there should be rank. All right. So instead of rank here, we'll have followers. And we'll do get followers. Let's copy this and paste this. Now in this case, the celebrity that has, or the influencer that has the most followers is the one that we want to return, right? So I'm going to change this to be a greater than sign. So with the rank, the lower the number, the better. With followers, the higher the number, the better. So we're going to change that sign and then make sure we change this here. So instead of compare rank, we'll do compare followers. And then here, instead of rank, we'll have followers. So I'm going to put the person who I think should have the most followers. So I'm going to use my results here from the debug console. So if I compare Stacy and Beyonce, I should get Beyonce as the answer. And if I compare Allison and Beyonce, I should get Beyonce. And if I compare Stacy and Allison, I should get, looks like Allison. All right. So that looks good. Stacy, Beyonce, Allison and Beyonce, then Stacy and Allison. Let us run this. If I compare the followers, Beyonce wins again, and then Allison wins. Okay, great. So even though Stacy has a higher rank, Beyonce and Allison have more followers. Good. So now we can move on to something else. Let's say I want to get the list of influencers in a particular sector. All right, let's give that one a try. So go ahead. And I'm going to say get list of influencers in a named sector and return, well, let's see, let's do returns list of influencers in a named sector. That's what this is going to do. So let's create our function. And the function name is going to be get list of celebs in sector. I know it's kind of a long function name, but I want it to be descriptive. I'll put the celeb sector. So I'm gonna put a sector as my input. I'm gonna put a sector as my input, and based on that input, I want to get a list of celebrities or a list of influencers in that sector. Okay, so I'm going to create an empty list. Remember that we're using our filtering here that we learned in Unit 5. Right, so this celeb list is going to be the list of celebrities within that sector, and now we're going to build out the list. So I'll do for equals I less than, let's do name.length, I plus, and we'll do an if statement. And then within this if statement, I'm going to say, let's see, we do have a get sector right here. So if I do get sector, and the get sector takes in a celebrity name. So I'm going to use that name list. And if that sector, so this get sector is going to output the sector. So if that sector is equal to whatever we chose as the celeb sector, all right, so if those two things are equal, basically if the celebrity's sector is equal to the sector that we want, or the sector that we're asking about, then add that celebrity to the celeb list. So we'll have the celeb list, comma, name. Oops, my for loop is messed up. For I equals 0. There we go. All right, so once we add everything to our celeb list, then I want to return the celeb list. Okay, so let's test this out and see if it works. So I'm going to do console.log. I'm just going to do 1 to start. Let's do /n. I'm going to say get list of influencers or celebrities, same thing, in the entertainment sector. That's Beyonce sector. So we should expect to see Beyonce in there somewhere, right? So let us put a space, and I will append the output from our function that we just created. So I want to make sure I use camel case. I realized I did not do that here. Camel case is where the first letter of the word is capitalized. Very common programming practice. So I had the O in common case, so I'm going to make sure that's in camel case. Yeah, list of celebs in sector. And the sector that I want is entertainment. So I'm expecting to see Beyonce somewhere in this list, but let's run this. Okay, we got a lot of output here. Oh, we got a little bit too much, I think. Yeah, so we're getting a little bit too much because we see Stacy here, and if I go to the data, Stacy is in the politics sector, so she should not be in this list. So we already know that something is wrong. So let's figure out what that is. So our empty list, great. We have our for loop. The loop looks good. Then we are getting our sector, saying if that's equal, then we need to append. See, we're appending the list as opposed to appending the element in the list. So instead of just name, which is our list, we need to have our index. So we're adding an element to the list. So let's reset, run. Now it's looking good. So I'm seeing a lot of artists here, and here we have Beyonce right here. So let's try it again with another sector. So let's try sports. We'll rename this to sports. And also let's try, politics. And we'll rename this to politics. So we saw Beyonce here. Here I'm expecting to see Allison Felix, and here I'm expecting to see Stacey Abrams. Reset, let's run. We don't need these /n's right here. Okay, great. So in the sports sector, I see Allison Felix. That looks good. And in the politics sector, I am seeing Stacey Abrams, which is great. So we know that this works, which is awesome. So let's move on to another one. Let's try another one. Let's try and get the number of influencers in a specific sector. All right, we're getting the number of influencers. So instead of returning a list, we want to return a number. So let me copy this, paste it. So this is going to return the number of influencers in a name sector. So I'm going to do get num of celebs in sector. So instead of a celeb list, we're going to have a celeb count. So I'm going to change this to celeb count is 0. And then we're going to go through our for loop. If the sector names are equal, then I want to, instead of adding an item to the list, I just want to increase the celeb count. So I could do celeb count equals celeb count plus 1, or I could do celeb count plus plus. It's exactly the same thing. And here, instead of returning the celeb list, I'll return the celeb count. So instead of a list, I'll swap that out with number. Number of influencers. And instead of list here, I'll do, oops, I'm supposed to do num. Get num of celebs. All right, so there is an expected number that I should get. And I don't want to really count all of these, but let's look at maybe the sports sector. I should get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 in the sports sector at least. So let's just test it out, see if it works. Okay, so I do get 8. And then the politics sector, I get 9. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So that looks good. I'm not going to count all of these. I'm going to assume it is indeed 19 as specified here. All right, so maybe we can try another one. We can try perhaps, let's get the highest ranker in each sector. So if I input a sector, I should see who ranked the highest. So obviously Stacey Abrams is going to rank the highest for politics. Let's see how Beyonce and Allison Felix rank in their sectors. I'm going to go ahead and add some comments, and this is going to return, which reminds me, maybe I should, I already did. So this is going to return the highest ranking celeb in a sector. So So we'll have our function get highest ranker. I don't want to make it too long, but I really feel like I should put in sector to make it more descriptive. So if anybody should read my code, they would understand what it does. And then I'll put celeb sector. So I'm going to say, well, first of all, I want to get all celebs in a specific sector. We already have a function for that, right? Which would be this one, get list of celebs in sector. Then once I get that, I want to specify a high ranker, or set first person in list to be the highest ranker. And then we're going to do a comparison. First person to others in list. And if the rank is higher, change who the highest ranker is. Okay, so we're doing a sort of comparison similar to what we did up here. We compare followers and compare rank. Just that we're adding a little bit more meat on it. So first, let's get all the celebs in the sector. So I'll do var celeb list. This is going to be get list of celebs in sector. And we'll take in that celeb sector parameter. And then we'll do this other piece, which is set the first person in the list to be the highest ranker. So I'm going to do highest ranker equals celeb list first person. Remember that the index is 0 for the very first person in the list. Now we're going to do our comparison, which means we're going to have to use a for loop and an if statement. So I'm going to say for I equals 0, I less than celeb list, I plus plus. Okay, so we're looping through the celeb list. So I'm going to say if we get the rank of the highest ranker, and if that rank is less than or equal to get rank of the person in the celebrity list that we're looping through. So if the highest ranker has a rank that's lower or equal to than the person in the celeb list, then I want the highest ranker to be equal to that person in the celeb list. All right. And then at the end of the day, we're going to return the highest ranker. Okay, so this is where we're changing who's going to be the highest ranker by doing a comparison. And then down here, we're going to return whoever that person is. All right, so let's just see who is going to be the highest ranker in the entertainment sector. So we'll do a console.log. I'll do /n get highest ranker in entertainment sector. I'm not quite sure who's that going to be just yet, but I will check, and I'll call the get highest ranker in sector function. And we'll start off with entertainment. Okay, so let me go to the data, and it's already ordered by rank. So I'm just looking who would be first. So Nipsey is in entertainment and his rank is 2. So I would expect him to be first. So he's going to be the highest ranked celebrity or influencer in the entertainment sector because his would be 2. All right, so if I go back to my code, it means I'm expecting Nipsey here. Reset and run it. Okay, so it looks like I have a spelling error. Okay, yep, right here instead of section it should be sector. Let's reset and run it again. All right, so we do get Nipsey. Now that we've done Nipsey, let's try another sector. So I'm going to copy this, let's paste that here, and let's try the sports sector. And if I go to my data tab and I'm looking for sports, I should see this person, Alicia Montano. So let me copy her name. So she should be the highest ranking person in sports. So I'm going to put her right here and put sports. Let's reset and run. All right. So I expected her, and this is what we get as the output. Awesome. So let's get rid of this /n. Okay. And let's try another sector. Let's try politics, which we know should be Stacey Abrams. So I'm going to copy this, paste it here. I know this should be Stacey. And this song is going to be politics. In the politics sector. Awesome. So this works as expected. Okay, so another one that we can look at is the influencers whose name starts with a certain letter. So if I'm looking for influencers whose name starts with B, for example, I should expect to see Beyonce in there. And this will be the last one that we do. So I'm going to say get the influencers whose name starts with a specified letter. And we're going to go ahead and write our function. Oh, that should not be a comment. So let's see, get celeb whose name starts with, and we have a letter here. I don't know, the function names are long, but I just want to make it clear. So I'm going to store the names in a list. So you'll use our var celeb list here, make it empty. And then at the end of the day, we're going to return this celeb list, right? So we're going to use this list to store the names of the celebrities or the influencers whose name starts with A, B, C, D, so on. All right, so to get the names, I'm going to filter my list. So, you know, for filtering, we're going to have our for loop. Oh. And inside our for loop, we're going to have an if statement. And for a for loop, the list that we're going to loop through is the names list. So we do var I equals 0. I is less than name.length. Length. If only I can type sometimes, right? If only I can spell. Okay, so we have our for loop, and let's check our conditions now. So I'm going to say if the first letter of any element in the names list, if the first letter is equal to the parameter that we specified, then we're going to add that name to the celebrity list. So if name I, and we're going to get the substring. The substring for the first letter is 0, 1, right? So if the first letter of that name is equal to letter, which is our parameter. Then I want to append the item to the celeb list. Or append the name to the celeb list. All right. And then once we get through this for loop, at the end of the day, we want to return the celeb list. So let's test this out and see if it works. Okay, so I'm going to say, let's put our /n. Oops. I'm going to say get all influencers whose name starts with B. And remember that we want to see Beyonce in here. Put a space, put plus icon to concatenate, get celeb whose name starts with B. Okay, so let's see if this works. I'm going to reset, run. Okay, so we have Beyonce, of course, and we have all of these other ones whose name starts with B. That looks great. Let's test it with another letter. Let's do S. We know for S, we need to see Stacy in there. All right, that looks great. Let's try another one. And let's change the letter to N. Awesome. So it looks like this is working as expected. I'm going to take out these /n's because I want all the tests to be grouped together. Let's reset and run again. That is perfect. Okay, and that is all that we're going to do with this. So we have a couple of things that we checked for. Just to recap, we declared our variables, and these variables are based off of the data set that we're using, which is the root 100 influential African Americans. We created some get functions. So we have get rank and our tests, get profession, get followers, get sector, and all of these get functions are taking in a celebrity name as a parameter. Then we also tried out some comparisons. We want to compare a rank, compare between two celebrities, return the one that has the highest rank. Same thing with followers, we want to compare those. And then we try and do some other interesting things like getting the list of celebrities in a sector, getting the number of celebrities in a sector, getting the influencer that has the highest rank in a given sector, and the influencer whose name starts with a given letter. So a couple of functions that we played around with here just to give you some ideas of what you need to do. So we have quite a few, I think about 9 or 10 functions, but the requirement is just to have 2 functions in your library. So these are just some things that you can use to get some ideas. But at the end of the day, try and think about if you are using the data set or if you are using a library, what kind of functions would you want to use to make the data set easier to play around with? So if you think about it in that way, you should be able to come up with some ideas for your library. Yes, I think you go to share, show advanced options, and then you can click on share as library. All right, so you put in your library's name, your functions, or sorry, your description, and then you can select your functions and publish it. All right, so you see why the comments are really important, right? So make sure that your functions have appropriate comments. All right, and that is all for today. I will see you in the next one. Bye.